Hi, today I'd like to introduce you to something called Google Communities. Now, Google Plus, and as you can see I'm at plus.google.com, was Google's foray into social networking, kind of like Google's Facebook. And frankly, it didn't catch on in a big way. However, something good that did come out of it were communities, or Google Communities. And I'd like to spend a few minutes introducing you to how those work. So once you're logged into a Google account, you can simply go to plus.google.com or you can search for communities. And when you arrive, this would be your home screen. Now you can see that it's somewhat similar to Facebook in the fact that people are posting and there's a stream. And what communities are groups of people that are organized around a topic of interest. So let me come over to communities over in the left menu. And you can see that I'm a member of 4 different communities. Along the top, there are suggestions, things I might like, the communities that I'm a member of, and any communities I may have created. And you can see I haven't created a community. So let me first go to member. Genesis is our student information system, and this is a very handy community. People have lots of questions and lots of suggestions, etc., and this is a great place to get answers. Google Apps Administrators, New Jersey Technology Coordinators, and New Jersey EdTech Community, Northern New Jersey EdTech Community. So you can see that my particular communities are really centered around a particular topic. I use them for work, and as I said, it's a great place to find answers, share news, share suggestions, etc. Now the first thing you need to do is to find a community that is of interest to you and is active and worthwhile. So how would we do that? We can go to communities I might like, and this will give me suggestions. You can see there are quite a few suggestions here. But this is not the totality of the communities. I can certainly search on a particular topic and I would find more. So let's take a look at our options. Now this is G Suite Admin. So this is Google's new terminology for Google Apps for the administrative section of that. So you can see there's one member here. This might be something I really want to see if it develops because it might not catch on. Justice League. So if you're interested in this, comic books. This has 2,984 members. So we could look into that if you were interested in that topic to see if this was active and worthwhile. You can see that a lot of them have a significant number of members. Members is not the only issue. My Genesis community has only 186 members, which is not a lot, but it's extremely active. There's not a day that goes by that they're not posts to that community, and extremely useful when using that product. Now if you look at photography, this has got over 3 million members. So very, very large. Let's try that one just for a second to see what it looks like. You notice there's a join option. There was a join option on the other screen as well, but I want to come in here first. And you can see that this is a picture that was posted 36 seconds ago, this one 5 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago, 9 minutes ago. So this looks like a venue for a lot of people to post their photographic work. Perhaps a little Photoshop involved here. And if I was a photographer, this might be of interest to me. Okay, some people are giving descriptions with their pictures and tags. Other people more simply are just posting pictures. So if I wanted to join this community, I could do it simply by clicking the join button. This is a public community. And now if I come back to Google Plus and communities and I take a look at the ones I'm a member of, I am now a member of photography. If I were to decide that I no longer wanted to be a member of this community, I could simply enter it, look for the options in the upper left here and say leave the community. I could also change some preferences, but for right now I'm just going to leave this community. When you leave a public community, your content remains visible in the community unless you delete it. Okay, so if I had posted pictures here and I didn't want them to remain, I would have gone and deleted the posts before leaving the community. Now, in addition to just perusing suggested communities, I can also search. So I'm going to try educational apps. Oh, and you can see that there are lots of suggestions here. So let's try the first one. And this particular one, Educational App Store, this looks like this is a community set up for a particular company. So this might not be the one that I want unless I'm very interested in following that company. They are fairly current. They have a post 2 days ago, but then the next post is 12 weeks ago, 13 weeks ago, 14 weeks ago. Okay, but in any case, this is probably not the one I want. Educational apps for kids. Well, this one's kind of dead, November of 2013. And if I keep looking through these, and I came down to the last one, I would find this community, which has 14,500 members and is public. So I think around this topic, people who are interested in this topic have kind of settled on this particular community. And this was posted 1 day ago, 2 days ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So this is an active community. And they seem to be just giving suggestions as to apps. Now, if you look at the profile on the left, you'll notice there are 14,550 members, and that this is a public community, which means it's easy to join. I can just click this join option here. There is an option to search the community, so since this is such an active community, you would find that these posts go back and back and back and back. And it may be difficult, sometimes like on Facebook, to find something that was posted previously. So they do have a search feature. And let's take a look for a minute now about how to create your own community, only so that you can look at the different options and how they work. Most of us are not going to probably create a community, but it's possible if you have a particular interest and you feel that you can interest another group of people to make it a worthwhile proposition. So I've come back and I've gone to my communities and I'm going to create one. I'm not actually going to create one. You give the community a name. Now, because I'm currently in through a district address, I have this option to restrict it to my domain, which is nice. So you can create a community just for your school district if you are a Google Apps district. If you're not in through a Google Apps account, then this isn't going to be available to you. I can make them public or private. And if I make it private, only invited members can get into the community and see its content. Okay, again, this is nice to keep things focused, to make sure that people stay on topic, etc., and to include only the people who are interested in doing so. Oops, excuse me. Also, people will need to ask to join your community. So this will allow people to make a request so they can see it, they can find it, they can request, but you must approve them before they're actually part of the community. And this is the way most of my communities that I'm part of are working. Okay, it's nice because I don't have to formally invite people, or somebody can find my community. Somebody, say from North Jersey, who's an ed tech person, can find it and ask to join it, but then we can do some verification. Maybe check the school website, make sure that this person is actually in that role before we allow them to join. And then there are a couple of additional options. You can hold posts for review. So this is even more restrictive. Someone posts something and then a moderator has to look at it and approve it. With adults and working in an active community, this is usually set off. Perhaps if you were going to do something with students at some point, then you might want to consider that as an option. And then there's content filters and controls. So an attempt to keep inappropriate things out, that one is turned on by default. I'm going to cancel because I don't really want to create a community. And the last thing we're going to look at for Google Plus communities, you may be interested in what these collections are. Now, the difference between a community and a collection is that a community is designed to be very interactive, to not really have a central control, but a group of people contributing to a conversation. If, however, there are things that are of particular interest to you, and you just want to collect them and archive them, you can create a collection to do that. So these are other people's collections, ADHD teaching strategies, so I might want to check that one out if that topic is of interest to me. And everything from teaching to travels in North America. This looks like black and white photography, etc. And again, I can search for something I'm interested in. If I was following, and I am, I'm following one collection, Chrome EDU, so things related to Google for Education. And I could create my own collections here. Now, just as people can join communities, they can follow collections if you allow your collection to be followed, or if you wish to follow someone else's collection, and then they're all going to appear in your stream here. Now, there are a series of settings that we could look at. We're not going to get too deep in the weeds on this one, but you can look through here and you see there's lots of different settings like locations, sharing, and notifications, what types of things you want notifications on, etc. One thing to point out before we finish is that Google Plus was built on a concept of circles. So where you can have Facebook friends, you also have contacts in Google Plus if you're choosing to do that, and you can put them in things called circles. So I could have a circle of family members, I could have a circle of friends, I could have a circle of colleagues. People could overlap and be in multiple circles if necessary, and that's just the way that Google handles the permissions. So I can take my family circle and give them access to things in Google Plus that maybe colleagues don't have access to. And I could do the same for colleagues. Maybe my family members are not particularly interested in certain things, so they wouldn't have access to those. As I said, as a social media platform, Plus never really caught on, and Google is kind of distancing itself from it in general. But out of that experiment, communities, collections, and these things I find are pretty useful, or can be pretty useful if they're to your liking.